Hi, scholars. So today we're going to talk a little bit about your second assignment for Module 5, Technological Invention, which is Argument Notes and Evaluation. So when you click on this, this is what you are going to see. You're going to see these 5 things that I have for you. So the first thing you're going to do is make a copy of these argument notes. So this is a link. When you click on this, it's going to open up a slide deck. So when you click on it, it's going to ask you if you would like to make a copy. You're going to say yes, and it's going to make a copy for you to edit in your Google account. Now, what you're going to do with those slides, you're going to review the notes on them about how authors create arguments and how readers evaluate arguments. On slide 3, there's going to be an article there embedded for you to identify the elements of an argument when you read it. And then on the last slide, you will fill it in with details from the article to demonstrate your understanding. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So when you open it, this is what will appear. So on slide 1, you have elements of an argument, and on slide 2, or I guess they're 2 and 3, you have evaluating an argument. So the first thing here, we'll make this bigger. These are doodle notes, similar to the ones that we've done in Pear Deck before. This one was done in a slide deck. So you have a circle of how you do this. So you start out with your claim. Your claim is your writer's position on it. Synonyms for claim are position and stance. So if you see either of those, you know that they mean claim. So you're going to think to yourself, what side of the issue or problem are you on? Or if you're reading, what side of the issue or problem is the author on? There's usually only one main claim, but sometimes they can make multiple claims in a single piece of writing. For the most part, though, think about this as the one main thing they are trying to convince you or make you believe. So that brings you down here to evidence. Making a claim is well and good, but if you don't have support, your argument is going to fall flat. So a synonym for evidence is support. Authors need to find information that are going to help them prove their claim. The information is referred to as evidence. So facts, quotes, examples, anecdotes, and statistics can all be used as evidence. So now that you've made your claim, you've gathered your evidence, now you need to prepare yourself for a counter argument. A counter argument is exactly what it sounds like. It is the other side of the argument. It's the one that counters, just like you would in a sword fight. It counters the main argument. Sometimes you might hear these called counterclaims. They allow you to address both sides when you have this present. So it acknowledges other stances, claims, and positions, and it shows that you've done all the research for your side and the other side so that you can say, oh, well, you may say this or you may believe this, but I still have evidence to prove that I'm correct. And the way you do that is with a rebuttal. So you've addressed your counter argument. Now it's time to rebuttal. So it redirects readers to your stance, to your claim. So you say, oh, well, you may have that opinion, and I can see where you would come from. However, the evidence states that I am still right. So this is how arguments work. Now, when you're evaluating an argument, the best thing to do is to trace it. So to follow it, to make sure that all the reasoning is sound and credible. And the way that you do this, you need to find the pieces. If you find that pieces, like these elements of an argument, if you find that something is missing, that means that that argument is going to be weak. So when you're writing your own arguments, you follow the same steps. So you have your direct claim. So after you've traced this, you have your direct claim. There's a sentence that clearly reveals the author's claim or position on this. It's easy to locate. Most of the time, we'll hear this called a thesis statement. And it's something that you wrote before. So in your last module, you wrote a thesis statement. That is a claim. Now, indirect claims, they require inferencing. Most of the time, they're found in multiple sentences. They may be harder to identify or see. So it doesn't mean that they're lacking a claim. It just means it isn't clear and it's not direct. So their argument's not going to be nearly as strong. Now, once you've traced this, you need to evaluate it. You need to figure out if this argument is valid. Is it convincing? Look for relevant information that supports this logically. Irrelevant information means that it's unclear, it's disconnected, it has nothing to do with the actual topic. So if there's quite a bit of that, then your argument in front of you may not be credible. You need to see if the argument addresses the opposing viewpoints, also known as the counter argument. If they're leaving this out, there may be a good reason for that, and it means that their argument is not strong enough to support either side. You need to identify if the author used any persuasive techniques that might distort the reader's view. Are they using a lot of ethos, which is a whole lot of trust me kind of language? I know what I'm talking about. They sound like a car salesman. Are they using a lot of pathos, which is a whole lot of pulling on your heartstrings? You can think about the commercials for the ASPCA and how they show the sad, sad dogs in the cages and the sound music and make you feel bad. That's pathos. So if you see those two things happening, you know something fishy is going on with that argument. Arguments are all about facts and proof. Persuasive techniques shouldn't be used in an argument. You want to be able to make sure they're using logos, which sounds just like the way that it's spelled, Logos, so logic, using a lot of cold, clear-cut facts to persuade without having to stoop to pulling on heartstrings and emotional feelings. This is the slide where you're going to click up here where it says we need better and more rules for new drivers. You're going to click on that. It's going to open up a PDF for you. You're going to read that article, and then you're going to follow the numbers here. So what is the author's claim? You'll be able to type it straight here. For number 2, you're going to give 3 facts, statistics, or examples that the article has to support the claim. You're going to find the counterclaim and identify that here. And then for number 4, in your opinion, you're going to tell me, is the author's argument reliable and valid? Like, does it have what it needs in order to be effective as an argument?